YouTube chat show called Marner Meets. This is a follow-on from my previous chat show Meet the Teachers, which is available on Kilmacombe Primary School's YouTube channel. Go subscribe, by the way. On my show, I'll be interviewing some local celebrities and hoping to get to know them a little better. On today's show, I'll be interviewing St Johnstone SC legend Chris Millar. Hi Chris, and welcome to Marner Meets. How are you today?
I'm good, Max. Thanks for having me on board.
Yeah. How was your injury? I saw you drew with Celtic yesterday. How was the game?
The injury's coming along. It's a wee groin strain I picked up in the cup section against Morton, so it's a wee bit disappointing that, but it's coming along, not too bad. I think yesterday was just a wee bit too soon for me to get back involved.
Yeah, but talking about injuries, my dad has a heck of a lot of hamstring ones. There's like physically not one game that he's not came back with a hamstring injury.
It's one of those things, isn't it, as you get older, isn't
Yeah,
it? Sure?
Probably.
But the game itself was good. We probably nicked a point in the end. We had a few injuries. We had about 7 of the first team boys were out with injuries just now, so there's a few young boys thrown in. Good few injuries. So, but it was a good point to end up.
Good. The viewers watching will like to learn a bit more about you and your successful football career. Are you ready?
Yep.
Let's go. So Chris, can you tell me a bit more about where you grew up?
Yeah, I'm from Port Glasgow, so obviously just down the road from here, and that's where I first started playing football, just on the street with my pals and my brothers. I'm from a family of 5 boys, so and my dad played football as well. He was signed professionally with Clyde, so he was a good footballer. And yeah, we just kind of that's where the interest grew, playing it with my brothers and in the house at the back. Any spare time would be always playing football, kicking the ball about.
Yeah, same as me. When I've got like spare time, I'm always down the park with my friends and that. And also, what team did you support when you were growing up?
Well, all my friends were kind of Celtic fans.
Not mine. Most of them are Rangers fans.
Well, that's so. And my dad was originally a Rangers fan. My mum was like kind of Celtic fan. But in our house, we weren't allowed like old thumb strips. So I liked Man United growing up. That was like my kind of English team. I went to watch Morton play. I probably had a softer spot for Celtic than Rangers, but I just enjoyed playing football, and that's what mattered to me.
Yeah, my English team's probably Liverpool.
Oh yeah.
And funny story, I was actually mascot at Manchester United game with Romelu Lukaku. I was sad to hear heard he left. It was like a year after. Yeah. So who were your football influences?
I'd have to say my dad. Like like anybody that's made it in professional football is it's not just about the individual. You've got so much support. Like my mum and dad would take me everywhere. Like any clubs. I was at Celtic, Dundee United, Rangers as a kid. I was playing the district. I played for Scotland Schoolboys as well. So there's all the logistics of getting there and taking you. And so you just need so much support. And my mum and dad and my family sacrificed a lot for me to make it professionally. So
Yeah.
I would say my biggest influence is definitely my dad.
Yeah, probably mine too as well. I understand you started your football career with the Celtic youth team. Can you tell me a bit more about how that came about and your experience while you were there?
Definitely. So when I started out, my first football club was Unity Boys Club, which was a local team in Port Glasgow, and I got scouted. I'd been in when I was 14, and I always remember when I got the letter through, it was a joke to my dad about, "Oh, this will be a letter for Celtic, probably want me to come and train," and it turned out that's what the letter was. And I used to get in and train in the summer, and then they set up the pro youth setup at the time then, and I signed for that when I was 14. And then from there I just progressed through the ranks and stayed on, did my hires at school, because I think that's important as well, because football's a short career and you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think education's a really important thing as well. But I got offered a full-time contract again, and I happily signed it. So I spent 3 years at Celtic full time. So I was in reserves, sorry, the youth team first. Under 18s, my manager was Willie McStay, playing with guys like Sean Maloney, John Kennedy, Stephen McManus was in my team as well. So boys who went on to play in the first team as well. So we had a really good setup. Really enjoyed it. Got to the reserves and played under Kenny McDowell, and it just there was no chance I was going to break into the first team. But it was a great experience. I think any player that when you go to Celtic, you're well looked after. You get the best training, best of facilities. You get educated on nutrition and the best way to look after your body. So it was a really good experience for me.
Were there any other players that came through the Celtic youth team who also had a successful career?
Oh, definitely. Some of the boys I just named there: Sean Maloney, uh, Ross Wallace, Stephen McManus, Mark Folleringham, Dave Van Zanten, Aidan McGeady. So all those boys that kind of from that era, that age at mine, those boys that went on there and played for Celtic first team, but none of that. There's players that left there like myself that went on to have careers out with Celtic, and I think that's one of the good things when you're at a club like Celtic or Rangers or part of the old firm, that you've got a good education, a good standing in football, but it's not enough. You've got to have that real desire to go and continue your career elsewhere if it doesn't work out for Celtic, work out for you at Celtic, and that's something that I'm pretty proud of. That although I didn't make it at Celtic, I still went on to have a good football career.
After you played for Celtic, I'm right in saying you moved to Greenock Morton.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did you find there was added pressure playing for your local club?
Good question. No, I didn't, because I just wanted to play football. In my last year at Celtic, I was training every week and I wasn't getting game time. And I think it's important for any development football that you have to play games. That's how you learn for playing. I was training all week, but you learn in the games. And I wasn't enjoying it the way that I should have been. So for me, it was an easy decision to go. I had a year and a half left my contract, and the manager said we'd pay you up, so I was happy to take the money and move. And I went down to Morton. I played one trial game, and they signed me right away. So no, I was just looking forward to it because I wanted to play, and it being local as well. There was added pressure because you knew people, you knew some of the fans, and some of the fans were your friends. But I just wanted to go play football, and I thought it was perfect for me, being local, being at the club's right at my doorstep. I could go and kick on my career again.
Yeah, and saying about you not getting that much game time, like seeing game time, you get if you lose, you learn more from your defeats than your wins.
100%, and that's not fair. People think that way. You're spot on, Max. That you learn more when you lose, because you can go right, analyse what you did wrong. Maybe I could have done this better. I could have done that better. So that's so important that when you lose, you don't. Nobody wants to lose. You want to win, but you've got to learn from your mistakes, and that's the best way to do it.
What are your fondest memories of Morton?
I think for me was my first year was brilliant. We won the third division, and it was great for me because I'd went from Celtic, where you're well looked after. I spoke about before, you got everything. Whereas I went to Morton, you had to take your own kit home, you had to prep your own meals, you had to look after yourself, like physically in the gym and whatever else. That's all taken care of you when you're at Celtic. So it was a big learning curve for me that way. But we won the third division my first year there, and it was like we played Peterhead in the last game of the season. There was 8,000 fans there, and we won 1-0. And so for me, that was just brilliant. That I thought, right, this is going to happen every year, and it doesn't, But you take that for granted as a young kid coming through. I think it was 19, 20, and it's just brilliant. So that was great. We won the second division as well a few years later. So I think one of the most important things is, I love playing football, I love enjoying it, but you love it when you win, and you win things, and those things, no matter what league it is, Premier League, first, second, third, whatever division, cups, you want to win things, and I've been lucky enough that I've won a few things in my career.
You all win everything football, pretty much.
Definitely. I think the Premier League's the only thing I've not won, and the League Cup. So no, it's something that, I don't take it for granted at all. But when I stop playing, it's something I can look back on and maybe go, I did okay.
Yeah. After Greenock Morton, you moved to division rival St Johnstone, where you spent 10 years of your career. History was made when you were at St Johnstone as they won the first major trophy, the Scottish Cup in 2014. Tell me, how hungover were you the next day?
I'm quite fortunate I don't get a hangover, so I was right back out and back on it again. But no, the celebrations were amazing. I think I spent 3 days in the same suit and shoes and socks and underwear. Didn't get changed for 3 days, so it was quite an epic party. And then the last day on the Monday, I stayed up in Perth and I came back in, and there's Tommy Wright walking out the front door, and I'm walking in, and he just looked at me and shook his head, started laughing, and kept walking past me. So no, it was brilliant. It was brilliant celebrations.
What was it like for the team winning the first major trophy?
Oh, it was amazing. One of the things that, as we spoke about before, about winning things, and you alluded to it there, was saying it was our first major trophy, and what you realise as a player is how much it means to the fans and so many different people. That it was generations of St Johnstone fans never even got to see something like that, and when we did the open top bus round about the city, and you got to meet people, and I think half of Perth had my medal on as well. I was just giving it to everybody, and it means so much to them. Like, football fans have got the club at heart more than anybody else, and I think with COVID this year, I think you've seen it how much people have missed getting into stadiums, and it's good that people are getting back. But no, it means so much to the fans and as an individual, and for your family members as well, because we spoke about before the sacrifices that they made to get you to that position.
Yeah,
It means so much for them.
Yeah, but football's nothing without fans.
No, totally, and it's a cliche, but it's true, and I think that's what we've seen this year. That as a player playing in empty stadiums, it felt like pre-season games, and you missed that. And it's definitely good to get the fans back in.
In 2018, you made the move back to Greenock Morton. There was talk about you moved to Australia. Why didn't that move happen?
Well, when I was at St Johnstone, I think with any footballer, you're always looking to try and progress and go to the next level and play as high a level as you can. And I had been offered a deal by the club at the time, and I was 28, and I thought to myself, look, if I'm going to make a move, maybe this is the right time for me. I was playing well, I was a regular in the team, we had been doing well, and I always remember Tommy Wright came to me. He was assistant manager at the time. He said, sometimes the grass isn't always greener. Uh, and we sat for an hour in Stirling. I remember it one day after training, he was just talking to me about, you can do whatever you want to do at St Johnstone, you can have success. And it turned out that way, and that summer I knocked it back the contract, so they'd offered me a 2 year deal, and I knocked it back because there was a few clubs interested. It was like kind of talk between Hibs, Motherwell. There were a few clubs says they were interested, but no concrete offers. I had a few friends down in Australia who were talking to clubs there as well, and rather than me say I'm waiting, I just said let's just to go to a rival club. I thought to myself, well, Australia could be an option. So there was never anything totally concrete on the table, and that's how these things work. And until the deal's there and you signed, nothing happens, you know. So the way it worked out, I said that in an interview, and then somebody ran with it in the press, and it became that Chris Millar's moving to Australia. But it never got that far down the line where I was ready to uproot and leave. But in the way it worked out, I decided that to sign again with St Johnstone, and I'm glad I did because we went on to win the Scottish Cup, play in Europe, get top six finishes, finish third one year. So all the things that I wanted to do in football happened while I was at St Johnstone, and I'm glad actually that I never moved.
How did this compare to your first spell at Morton?
So coming back to Morton was great. You know, I'd done the 10 years at St Johnstone, I had my testimonial, and then I was looking for another club. I spoke to Dundee United, they were keen to sign us, but for me, I always had it in my head that I wanted to come back to Morton and finish my career there. The way it worked out as well, my wife had just opened up her own hair salon, and I had to be closer to home for family reasons and that as well, so it was perfect. And I loved it. Brilliant. Morton and St Johnstone are my clubs. I went back there, and you know that we didn't have the success I thought that we could have had in terms of our league positions at the time. We finished fifth our first year, and and we just missed out on getting relegated on our last year there. But that's something I'm pretty proud of, that I've never had a relegation on my CV. So it was a great time. I love the club, and I really enjoyed my time there. 8 years I spent at Morton, so it was really good for my career.
Did you find it easier as you were more experienced?
No, definitely. I think that helps, and I think that's something that I was brought in to do, like to give my experience to young boys, talk them through games, be a good influence about the dressing room, try to guide them in terms of how they can move on to the next level, progress their careers. And that's something as an older player that you've got to do. And I always remember my time when I was there first time. It was the likes of Derek Lilly, Derek Collins, Warren Hawke, Eddie Annan. These were the senior players in the dressing room, and I'd always go to them and ask for advice and what can I do better, or whatever wee things in your game that you can pick up for them, because these guys had been over it before, and that's kind of my role now as an experienced player, that you try and help the younger players and give advice and try and help them progress their careers.
Cool. I know when you moved back to Morton that you studied for your personal training qualifications. Was it still difficult as you were playing full-time football as well as trying to study and spend time with family?
Good question. So, as I said to you before about education, I think it's really important, and that means that even though I was playing professional football, that can only last so long. So you have to have a backup plan. You have to plan for after football. So just like you doing now with your journalist stuff, I'd went and done a degree in sports journalism. So you're doing a great job, and I went and done that, and then I was thinking to myself, what else can I do in personal training? I enjoy training, and I like going to the gym. It's something I think that has helped me keep playing to 38, that I look after myself, my fitness, my nutrition, and so I just went and done it, and it's been great. I've really enjoyed it.
How's your PT business going?
It's going really well, I must admit. Just now, the last game, I've got 67 people online. I've got 10 one-to-ones that I do as well, so it keeps me very busy, and it's been good because I've transitioned from full-time football. Now I'm part-time East Kilbride, and it balances brilliant because I can dedicate my time now to my PT more, and I can, don't get me wrong, football's still number one for me, and always will be, but it's finding that balance where your income is subsidised. It used to be where my income was getting subsidised by my PT. Now my PT is more my income, and my football's taking topping up the kind of income. So it
Okay.
worked brilliant.
Would you say this is something that you've always been interested in?
Definitely, fitness is I think it's a massive part of the game, and I think something that ability can only take you so far in football. Like, if me and you are playing against each other, right, and we've got the same ability, but I'm fitter than you and stronger than you, then I'll come out the other side. Likewise, if somebody's got better, more ability than you, sometimes your fitness or your strength or your work rate can overtake that. So for me, that was something that you can always work on. You can always get fitter, you can always get stronger, you can always do more. Whereas, yeah, you can work your ability, but usually you've just got a kind of set amount of talent, and that'll only take you so far. When you get to a level in football, when you're professional, everybody's got ability. That's the reason why they're there. But what sets the best players apart is their work ethic, and that's something that I think I've always tried to do. Work hard.
Okay. This summer, you moved to Lowland League side East Kilbride. What excited you about this project?
I think just that, it's a project. They're an ambitious club. They want to get into the professional divisions from the Lowland League, and when I left Morton, I still wanted to play. I think everybody I've spoke to says if you still got a desire, that hunger to play, you've got to play, because your career's only that in your life, and you've got to get the most of it as you can. And I feel that I've still got something to offer. And as I said, they want to get to professional division. I met the manager, Stephen Aitken, and he sold me on it. That they've got good players there. There's a lot of boys that have played at a higher level. There's a lot of young boys there, so it's a good balance. And for me, it excites me. They've got a great setup. They're well run, and yeah, I'm just really looking forward to the season. And you know, what really got me was over the summer there, that you see boys, like boys at Kilty Hearts, a few players that play with them, and they'd see the celebrations. Partick Thistle, they'd won league. Those boys on my social media who I know, and they're celebrating, and I want that one more time. I've won the first, second, third, won the Scottish Cup. And I want to win that. I want to win a Lowland League. So that's what excited me really about it.
I see you've been made captain. Is this because of your talent or your age?
Maybe a bit of both. Maybe a bit of both. I'd like to say talent, right? I would like to say talent, but
Yeah,
I think I bring good experience. I'm quite vocal on the pitch. Some people would say moany, but I think you've got to make demands. I think if you're not demanding of players and yourself, then that's when results don't happen. So it's never criticism, but you have to be vocal. You have to demand of people. You have to make people want to win. And as I said to you before, that's what it's all about. We're under no illusions at East Kilbride that we need to win a league this year, because there's been investment put in the club. The players they bring in. So for us, for me, it's about winning, and I think that's what I'll bring as a captain.
How have you found the transition from full-time to part-time football?
No, like it's different. It's been good for me in terms of my age and picking up the injuries and stuff like that. But I'm really enjoying it. I've got more time to spend with the family. As I say, I can focus on my personal training business. But I still love football. Like every day in training, I don't take it for granted. Like every time you go on that training pitch, you're there to work, you're there to enjoy it, you're there to work hard, because there'll be one day where I won't be able to do that, and it's something I don't take for granted. So I'm really enjoying it, and I'm hoping to. A goal of mine is to play till I'm 40, and that's what I want to do. And when I get to 40, I'll probably try and look for 41. And I think that's what you've got to do is when you settle as a player or anything in life, if you settle for just that's enough, and that's when you start losing your wee edge. And I think you've got to keep that all the time.
Cool. So we're going to finish off today with a quick fire round. So I will ask you some questions. You have to answer as quickly and honestly as you can.
I'll try my best.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Let's go. Best player you've ever played with or against?
With Sean Maloney. Easy answer for me. Against, well, I've played against Virgil van Dijk, Andy Robertson, but in terms of 1-to-1 battle, Steve Davis, the Rangers.
Worst player you've ever played against or with?
Come on, that's people watching this. Let me see. Worst player played with.
It could be Moniest as well.
Oh, right. So Moniest, right? Stephen Anderson is the Moniest, definitely.
Okay.
Grumpy, he got nickname.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
East Kilbride win the Scottish Cup or Scotland winning the World Cup?
Scotland winning World Cup.
The biggest moaner you've ever played with?
Me.
Okay. Clyde One Super Scoreboard or Open Goal Podcast?
Well, I worked on Clyde One for a bit, and then they never called me back, so we'll see Open Goal.
Early to bed or party all night?
Depends what night of the week it is. Saturday night party, Monday to Friday, early to bed.
So, yes sir, I can boogie or Flower of Scotland?
Flower of Scotland.
Being interviewed by me or Graham Norton?
Oh, for you, thanks.
Thank you. What's better, Morton Two League titles or Scottish Cups at Johnstone?
Scottish Cups at Johnstone.
Thank you, Chris, for coming here today and taking time to talk to me about your successful football career.
Thanks, Max.
I really enjoyed talking to you. I hope you found this as much fun as I have. I was nervous as this was my first Max Marner meets. So again, thank you to Chris and for all of you who have been watching. I hope you tune in next time for my next interview. This is Max Marner signing off, saying, let's stop wasting time and get talking. Goodbye. I'm trashing you, please.
On you go.
See if you can fit it in. Never.
Right, go. Oh.